talked about AJ, we talked about country, we talked about everything possible. But ultimately, the solution for anything is e-commerce, right? What is this guy thinking? This guy is thinking my kid home was buying something on Best Buy. What was he buying? I don't know how to do e-commerce. I don't know how to. We are going to teach him. We can provide e-commerce solution to anything and everything, right? So let's go next. Hat. You can buy hat everywhere on Amazon, on eBay, right? But we have built a site where if you want to put hat online and put your price in, it does not take long. Within 3 seconds, you can put 20 different types of hats online, right? It's going to work, and it's awesome solution. Let's go. So if you want to sell 336 items online versus 378 items online, we are not going to charge you for our e-commerce solution by number of items you sell, right? We are going to charge you by color, right? If you are selling blue items, you'll have to pay us less. If you are selling red items, you'll have to pay us more. Why? Because red works. You have to pay more insurance when you are buying a red car, right? Doesn't it make sense? What's next? See, again, red things, right? There are red blocks. So for any website that you have to build, you need building blocks, right? But building blocks must be red. If you try to build a website with blue building blocks, it does not work. It fails. It fails, always fails. What happened to Circuit City? Exact same thing. Circuit City, the whole name wasn't red. Doesn't work. There are 2 ways your reality may change, right? You are looking for your old buddy on Google.com. You are not able to find it. But if you are going to eBay.com, the same guy is selling yearbook in which your photograph is there, right? So you have to do e-commerce. Look at all these numbers, right? What it's saying is that the guy C has low income because he's buying everything online, right? And guy bank has lower income because he's not buying online. Yes, nobody's making any money these days, right? But still, the guy C who's buying online is saving a lot. But we still have a problem. Security. What are we going to do about security when we are doing e-commerce, right? Payments, credit cards. We have a solution. The solution is balance. We do only that stuff online that makes sense.
It's time.
Brand. Because all you really need for a personal brand is your brain, a pen, and a bunch of paper. Many people don't invest in their personal brand because they fear change. They know that there's a lot of pain, but there's gain to be had if you persevere. For instance, here we are talking about the personal brand of carbon nanotubes. How do carbon nanotubes approach people to get a job? Well, they have 100 times the strength of steel. They have better armor. You wouldn't hire nanotubes over steel? Of course you would. And that's how they're trying to position themselves against their competitor in the job market, steel. And sometimes size does matter. Print your resume on A3 paper. Now, here we have an example where how apples are always compared to apples. When you're writing your own personal brand, when you're designing it, remember that you don't want to be the apple. You want to be the orange. You don't want to be compared to other apples. You're a whole different fruit. You're passion fruit. You're durian. But it's delicious. That's where you want to go. Separate yourself from the fruit bowl. And remember that costs don't change as your output changes. Collaborate with your friends to build your personal brand, because otherwise it's just going to collapse like this house will pretty soon. Be who you are is the most important message when you're building a personal brand. Become a leader, not a manager. For instance, like in here. Before you chop your own fingers off, because when you're trying to juggle the resume building with all that, sharp implements, you might go a little too far. And sabotage yourself.
Right, I'd like to build on that by talking about my philosophy on personal growth and personal leadership, personal development. So, I'm going to provide some purely visual examples. First of all, price and product and target market, very important with personal development as with your personal brand. In order to solve problems we don't even know are problems yet. Exactly, I couldn't have said it better myself. Got to have some network address translation in there. It's absolutely vital, particularly this piece here. And these are some cars, I think.
Cell phones.
Sorry, I'm standing too close. Yeah, I'm just scared. Okay, and here's another example to illustrate my point. So, within one standard deviation is where you want to get. Obviously, most people are operating outside here, but when you get as advanced with your personal growth as I am, you can move into the one standard deviation. Very important to have as many Facebook fans as you can possibly have. Build your own Facebook fan site. It's great for personal growth. It will make you feel really good about yourself. Absolutely. Sometimes that's a really comforting thought, just when you've got a bad day. And the cyborgs is just one of the threats that can affect us, and this is how they work. And cyborgs like to use spam, phishing, and malware to try and prevent you becoming the person that you really want to be. Simple graph here, just to illustrate my point. I think it's pretty obvious. You can read that very quickly. Amazon S3. It's one of the keys to this. Albert Einstein, what an inspiration, and Abraham Lincoln, two of my heroes. They, as I, very good at propagating information, as I am trying to do to you right now. Very important, and these coloured dots, I think, illustrate that very well. 10+ culture, it's one of my key philosophies, and I can't tell you about it because it's very secret.
Great job. All right. Folks, I've got to tell you, our company's in trouble. Today was a presentation that was supposed to pull it all together. We've heard about personal brand, we've heard about AJ, we've heard from the CTO, CEO, VP of sales. Does it make any sense to you?
No.
I'm going to try to pull this strategy together and explain the path to the future. So, first of all, this was my notes from the presentations earlier today. Okay? We're trying to do too many things in too many places with too few people. So, let's get some focus. First of all, we've got to get in shape, because you know what? We're going to have to work longer hours. So at lunch, I'm instituting a fitness program, Fitness 2.0, we're going to call it. It'll be a cloud-based fitness offering. I'm going to skip that one, Paul. Okay? So, you know, as I considered this presentation, I was doing some doodling. How do I really pull all this stuff together? So I thought, I'll start with the introduction. I talked to Scott Selhorst, and he started saying, you know, John, we really have to go back to the base problem. Quit talking about products. Talking about the base problem. And I said, Scott, I don't freaking get it. Okay? So he said, here, let me show you. So, you got up on the whiteboard with these multiple colors, and you know, Scott's one of those big brain kind of guys, and you know, after all this, I think I got it. So we blogged about it, and I took it in front of the CEO, and this is what he thought, right? He said, you know what? I think we can make money here, John. I'm going to tie your performance review and your salary to this strategy. What did we do? I have no idea what to say to this slide. Okay, let me move on. Okay. Boy, we're getting some really good ones here. You know, as we ran a focus group, you know, this was our product management team watching the focus group team. And the questions really that we were trying to uncover was, what are the human behavior factors when people are smoking and playing cards. Here's what they uncovered. No one really cared. Everyone just wanted to communicate outside the building with their cell phone. So where are our goals? Thank you, Paul.